Hello everyone. There you go. We are back. So, buti na lang tinest namin may mahina ang globe dito sa location ni Master. There you go.
Ayan.
We are
Ayan.
back.
Ay, wait.
Buti na lang tinest namin may...
Oh, yan. Go. Sige.
Ayan. So, dinner with Master Wiki. So by next week po, papromote na rin namin, magkakaroon po kami ng talk via live din, pero syempre mas maayos yung settings. Ngayon ay nagda-dry run lang po kami, chine-check namin yung internet and yung live kung gumagana pa ba. Tsaka yung camera namin kung okay itong camera. And angels. Hello, hi. Hindi ko maintindihan, Japanese name. Hello, kumusta ka dyan?
Timo na. Kaibigan ko ata. Timo na. Kaibigan ko ba yan? Oh, anyway, sige. Tuloy ka.
Ayan.
Ay,
So,
hindi.
tonight, magdi-discuss kami ng dry run namin for next week. Sunday pala, hindi pala
Sunday,
next week.
Sunday.
Sunday, December 18. After ng Ateos na year-end party. Ayan. Attend nga pala kayo ng Ateos Pilipinas din. Ayun, Saturday. Then we will discuss na rin pala. By December 18, we will discuss the problem of evil. Ngayon, papasadahan lang namin kung ano yung mga topics at saka yung outline ni Sir, ni Master Ricky. Kung may mga questions kayo, ayan. Start na tayo, Master Ricky, ng ating
Timo na.
dry run.
Paano yan? Baka madumihan. Anyway.
Salamat ang marami dito sa dinner.
Okay.
Hindi pa ako kumakain, binigyan ng dinner ni Master.
Ay, Diyos ko. Anyway.
Nacho King. Laki
Anyway, sige. Anyway, dati sa Patas rin ako, no, one of the pioneer members. In fact, nag-officer nga rin ako. But the thing is, I'm not exactly an atheist. Right now, I consider myself spiritual but not religious. So, bale, I believe in spirituality, the afterlife, the God, later I'll explain it, no? Okay. Ngayon, before, I considered myself an atheist, no? Because I did not believe in a perfect God. When you say perfect God kasi, it is omnimax, which means it's omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. Bala, it's a perfect God. Okay? Ngayon, strictly speaking, there are only around 3 gods in the religions now which are considered perfect. Namely, Islam, the Muslim God, the Christian God, and the God of Judaism. The other gods, they're powerful but they're not exactly perfect because they usually just have a territory. Some of them can be very, very moody, no, with questionable morals, no, and yung para mga tao rin nag-aaway-away. Like for example, the Greek gods, no, like that. The Roman gods, di ba, para mga tao lang rin sila, no, na nag-aaway-away. So supposedly, the gods of the Abrahamic religions are perfect. Okay, ngayon, I considered myself an atheist because for me, when you say God, it has to be perfect. Because if it is not perfect, I do not call it God. I'll call it an alien or something else, but not a God. Okay? So, wait ha, tumitingin lang ako ng notes. So, ngayon, the problem of evil, okay, that is a topic which is going to explain that the perfect God does not exist. Okay, you there? The question also Hinduism. Hindu before also told me that the Hindu God is perfect. Actually, I think it's divided because it's like Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the destroyer, and something. They probably assume that the creator is perfect because he created the world, which is really not necessarily the case, no? It's possible that you create a world, you create a universe, but it doesn't mean you are perfect. Okay, maybe I'll explain that a little later. So it's a little iffy. Okay? Must be 32 million gods in India. Yan, see? And then the gods, isn't it, in other religions, each god has a specific role, like goddess of love, goddess of ganyan-ganyan. There. So not all of them are perfect. Ngayon, so for me, I consider myself an atheist because I did not believe in a perfect God. However, I was open to other gods. Right now, para hindi na magulo, I just call myself spiritual but not religious. Which means, spiritual, possibly open to God, okay, but I am not under any religion. Okay, so I don't have any dogma, doctrine, I don't follow any hierarchy. Yun. Kung sa martial arts, para siyang MMA, yung parang kuha ka dito, kuha ka doon, pero wala kang loyalty. So, yan, let's explain now what is the problem of evil. Okay, ha? So, titingin lang ako sa Wikipedia. Okay. If an omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient God exists, then evil does not. Okay. Omnipotent means powerful. Okay. Very, very powerful. Omnibenevolent means perfectly good. Omniscient means she knows everything. So what it's saying in the first one is, if an omnimax God who has all those omni attributes exists, evil does not. Siyempre, how come? Because an omnipotent God, all-powerful, would be able to take off evil. An omnibenevolent God would want to take off all evil. And an omniscient God will know that there is evil in the first place. Therefore, evil is not. Second premise is, there is definitely evil in the world. Therefore, an omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient God does not exist. Okay? It's that simple lang talaga. Minsan may mga pasikot-sikot, but yan, basically it's that simple. Okay? So, there is another version also here which goes like this. God exists. God is omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient. An omnipotent being has the power to prevent that evil from coming into existence. An omnibenevolent being would want to prevent all evils. And an omniscient being knows every way in which evils can come into existence and knows every way in which those evils could be prevented. A being who knows every way in which an evil can come into existence, who is able to prevent that evil from coming into existence, and who wants to do so, would prevent the existence of that evil. If there exists an omnipotent, omnibenevolent, and omniscient God, then no evil exists. But evil exists. Therefore, the perfect God does not exist. So yan, ganun kasimple lang yon. Okay? Ngayon, of course, a lot of the theists are going to try to refute this claim and say that, it's possible that there is evil and at the same time, a perfect God exists. Ngayon, of course, we will have to limit it, Okay. This only refers to a perfect God, which is perfect, all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good. It does not include all the other gods. Does not include the imperfect gods. Okay. This also doesn't include the afterlife, the spirits, the ghosts, the supernatural, the other deities, the demons, and the Okay? So, even if this problem of evil is correct, that the perfect God does not exist, it doesn't mean that spirituality does not exist. It just means that the perfect God does not exist. Okay? So yun, that's para bang the scope of it all. Okay? Hanggang dun lang tayo. Okay. Next. Now, perfectness in a God is the ultimate. Therefore, the perfect creature needs to prove that he is really perfect, that he can really do all these things with no excuses. Okay, ngayon, one way to muddle the whole thing, is to ask the definition of evil. They're always gonna claim na,
Yes.
di ba? Maraming pasikot-sikot yan
Exactly. Kasi, sa God, di ba? Iba yung perspective ng God sa perspective ng human. Ganyan yung unang-unang sinasabi ng mga Christians or ng mga believers na perspective of God is different perspective of human. So, anong definition naman ng evil?
Yon. Ngayon, to take all of this out, para wala nang pasikot-sikot, kasi minsan para bang it's just an excuse. Naghahanap lang sila ng butas. I just take off the word evil with suffering, because at least everyone knows what suffering is. So it's not going to be problem of evil, you call it now problem of suffering. Okay? And with a perfect God, there should be no suffering, no excuses. Okay? So, with a perfect God, like kunyari, you're God, are you going to make someone suffer? What's your excuse? Okay? If I were perfect, I'd make everybody such, okay, that he has an orgasm, he is in love, and he's happy all at the same time. He can turn it on and off at will, and he is never bored. See, he has to always reach that height na talagang sagad na masaya siya. Boredom alone, no, for me, the moment someone gets bored, it means your God is not perfect. Because even if evil doesn't exist, basta hindi ka masaya, hindi yun perfect. Okay? Because a perfect God will know how to do all of that eh. No excuses yun. So I'm kind of setting the bar a little higher pa. Okay. Did not visual so that would remove that. Okay, pasensya na kayo ha, pang-practice lang kasi ito eh. Ay wait, timo na. Meron bang mga tanong na ngayon? Hindi. Hindi pa, okay.
We have two viewers. Hi, Paul.
Ha?
Nandiyan pa rin sila. Yung
Okay,
two
okay.
viewers na din.
May two view. Ayun pala, may two viewers pala.
Pero sorry, hindi ko mabasa yung pangalan mo.
Oo,
In
kasi
Japanese.
it's in Japanese eh. Minsan nag-Google Translate yun eh. Okay. We would need to learn.
To check yung kung may questions, makikita mo na siya pag pumunta ka ng Patas page.
Oo.
Sa live natin.
Yan, if you have any questions, yan, you just type it there kasi when we make this thing on the 18th, I wanna place everything na there para, alam mo, wala nang butas. No? Para pulidong-pulido na. Okay. Okay. Ngayon, ngayon ako, inaantok ata ako when I made these notes eh. Okay. Anyway, like this, no, I'm going to give a different, number one, no, is if you were a perfect God, would you really create evil in the first place? For me, no. Ngayon, usually, the defense there is what you call the free will defense, which means na you give people free will, and it's the problem of the people because nagkamali sila, and they're the ones that created evil. Therefore, kasalanan ng tao yon, hindi kasalanan ng Diyos yon. Which for me is crazy naman kasi para bang yung if you're a perfect God, you are going to make perfect creatures who will not even be tempted anymore. So why the hell are you going to make it such na magkakamali sila tapos bibigyan mo sila ng parusa? Okay. Yun, that is one, Pagkatapos, the other thing is, you can have free will naman without really having any pain and suffering. Kasi sinasabay nila yan eh. Okay? For you to ascend raw, for you to be a better person, okay, you need to have free will in order to do what you want, or else you're going to be like robots. And if you have free will, you're going to have pain. Which doesn't make sense because it is very easy for you to have free will and at the same time not robots. Okay? Okay. And it is questionable that you need pain in order to learn. Okay? That is parang a psychological construct for people. But if you were God and you were going to create a person, why not give him free will with no need for pain to be able to know why don't you make a person intelligent enough to be able to learn more without having to undergo pain? Okay? It's like, kunyari, the example I want to give is like, kunyari, computer game, no? The programmer, the developer is God. And then, the people who are playing the games are the humans. Okay? Now, especially in an open world game, the player can do whatever he wants. In a shooter game, he can shoot people. He can run across the forest. Okay? He can do anything he wants. And he can even be better in his game, but he doesn't have to suffer. Diba? Like yung kunyari, yung mga naglalaro ng Counter-Strike dati, yung mga shooting game, yung mga PUBG, no? you can actually have free will. You do what you like. You can shoot. You don't have to shoot. You pick what weapons you like. You pick what side you like. You can play. You can enter. You can leave. Okay? And there is no pain. Diba? So why cannot God do the same thing also with us? Okay? I don't think it's really necessary for you to be in pain in order to learn. Me personally nga, ang ginagawa ko, I do not learn from my mistakes. I learn from the mistakes of others. Okay, pag nakita ko nasunog na siya, hindi ko nagagawin, no? Pero, it's easy, if you're playing a computer game, it's easy to do that also. The other angle they also have, aside from the free will defense, is they say na, you have to know suffering in order, or you have to know what evil is, in order to know what is good, what is happy, di ba? For me, no. Happiness is variety. It's like, parang sinabi ko sa'yo na, paano mo malalaman na masarap yung pagkain? How will you know the food is nice unless you taste ugly food? So imagine, if they're going to give you ugly food one day, and they're going to give you nice food one day, or kunyari, if you're dating a girl or a guy, they're gonna say, so that you know what beautiful is, I will have to give you a date with an ugly girl or ugly guy first, so that at least you will appreciate a handsome guy or beautiful girl. That doesn't make sense. What I would rather do for food is every day you have different food from different countries, and every day you have a different date with different attributes. One, you have long hair. One, you have short hair. One, you have voluptuous. One, you have sexy. One, you get muscular. Parang papalit-palit, and you're going to be happy. So I also don't believe in that angle na, yun nga, kailangan na, you have to know what is evil in order to know what is good. For me yan, excuse rin yun. Ay, mag-ano ka rin naman.
Sa akin kasi, may question ako dun sa part na, because I don't want people to think na we are appealing to emotions. These are just examples. Although we are mentioning emotions such as happiness, sadness, pain, these are all emotions, but these are just examples of what are sufferings and what is a suffering is based on human perspective. Kasi kung mag-God perspective tayo, walang sense eh. Mare-resort tayo agad kasi hindi natin siya pwedeng i-test. Ayun.
Yeah, pero that's the other thing. In the ultimate thing, the ultimate judge there is not going to be God. The ultimate judge there is going to be the creation. The point is, the creation should not suffer. Okay? Ganun lang naman yun eh. I mean, if you are not kasi omnipotent.
Logical.
Yeah, if you're not omnipotent kasi, like kunyari, your parent will make you suffer in order to will not spoil you so that when you grow up, you're gonna be ambitious and you're gonna make your own money. Walang kaso yan. Why? Because the parent has a constraint. He doesn't have that much money. That's one, okay? But in this case, God naman can spoil you eh. Why? Because He has everything naman eh. Now, the other thing is, why will God spoil you? You have to work for it, okay? Now, the thing is, when it comes to your parent, okay, you have human psychology, he has human psychology, and you know very well that if we get spoiled, we are not going to function properly when we go old. But again, if you are a perfect God, why even put that human trait into the human being? Okay? Why don't you spoil him, but at the same time, make it such that he cannot get spoiled because he is not human in the first place? How come we were given such a flawed psychology that we have to undergo all these crazy things that we have to learn from pain, if that is true at all? Dapat sa umpisa pa lang, wala nang ganun eh. Kuha mo? Masaya na tayo, plain and simple. We can turn on and off our emotions at will. As I said, you can fall in love, you should be able to be cheerful, you're supposed to be horny, you're supposed to be lahat yan, lahat, clarity of thought. At any time you wish, you should be able to sleep anytime you wish. That is even if that's assuming that you need to sleep. Probably, if God is really perfect, He should make it such that you don't even have to need to sleep anymore. So, yun. So, yun, the free will defense, yan, wala na yan. That thing na you have to suffer, yan, dapat wala na rin yan, ano? And yun, and in the end, it is us. If we suffer That's it. That's God's problem. You're going to say, how will God be able to monitor all of the people who are suffering? He should. Why? Because you said He's omnimax. He's a perfect God. A perfect God will know every nook and cranny in the world, every nook and cranny, and will be able to make it such that everyone is going to be happy, which is not the case. Okay? Okay. So that's the other thing, no? God having a plan, it is irrelevant. What plan? Okay? God doesn't have to have a plan. He's omnipotent. He can just bypass the whole plan. And if you're going to say it is making us stronger, then God can make it such that we are strong at the beginning in the first place. Why the hell do we have to undergo all these things in order for us to be stronger? Tanggal yan. Okay? So yan, again, yun nga, like supposing if you're a game developer, no, why doesn't God just make it like that? No? Yung para bang, you know, in the I don't know with the cell phone games, but in the computer games like the one I play, imagine you can go there, you can pick your sex, you can pick your color, you can pick your hairstyle, you can pick your clothes, you can pick everything, the color of your clothes, whether it's camouflage or whatever. You can even run on whatever terrain you want. If you want the cliffs, if you want the jungle, if you want in Ghost Recon Wildlands, ganyan. You can pick what gun you want. Why cannot God make it like that if He's perfect at all? Diba? And you can shoot anyone and no one gets hurt. Okay, you can play, kunyari me, I can play with him, magbabari lang kami doon, no, in the jungle, and when I shoot him, he doesn't have to get hurt. And the beautiful thing of it is when he dies, right after a few seconds, he can respawn himself and we can play again. Okay?
Because God works
In mysterious ways. See, that's another excuse. But yan, I hope you get what I'm saying, di ba? I mean, yan, rami nang nag-hello, ilan? Ay, 2 pa lang yung live.
Hi
Yun.
Miles, how are you?
Yun. See, so yun nga, no? So nagmumukha na, you know, a game developer is actually even more creative than God. Ang lamang lang ni God is that He can create life. But when it comes to creativity and making a person happy, you get the game developer anytime.
What if God is Satan? He really wants us to suffer.
Oh, then God nga does not exist because He
He's
is not
perfect,
perfect.
evil.
Yun,
Need to
yun.
hear that, Miles. You are all good.
Yun. Okay.
God is a perfect evil. The problem is solved. Why call Him God? That's the last question eh.
Yeah, yun nga. That's why at the end nga, o sige, God exists, but He cannot do all of that. Therefore, He is imperfect. And if He's imperfect, then why call Him God? O sige, He could have created us, but still, you know, it depends on the definition of God. If God is defined as being perfect, no, I will not,
He is perfect evil nga.
perfect evil.
Demiurge. Demiurge, di ba?
Ay, alam mo ba yon?
Yeah, of course. It's one song of Meshuggah.
O sige, mamaya ipapag-usapan rin natin yung Demiurge because that's, I think, in the Augustinian Theodicy. Okay. Wait, Augustinian Theodicy ba yun?
I forgot na. It's a long time ago. Demiurge.
Demiurge yun, oo.
It's a perfect evil God.
Yan, so
Perfect
yan.
nga naman siya, pero evil
Perfect.
nga lang. Hindi mo naman kasi tinatapos eh.
Dati, yung patas, they had a meetup. We were all eating and getting drunk pa ata. And I brought a friend at yung nakakatawa sa kanya, we had one theist there. I forgot his name, no? And then afterwards, we were all atheists. We had one theist. Then I brought my friend. He goes, I believe in God, but He's evil. Kaya tawa lang kami ng tawa. Tapos yung dalawa yung nag-away. Yung dalawang theist na God is evil, the other one na God is God is perfect. Sarap na usapang
If
lasing
you read
yun.
the Bible, talaga treacherous talaga si God in the Bible.
Oo, wait ha.
Hindi, dumating si Christ. Nilinis niya through His blood.
Alam mo rin yun.
The
Sige.
atonement.
Sige. Nako, baka biglang ma-death threat tayo nito ha. Pero sige, ako na magsasalita. Pero dinadagdagan ko lang yung sinasabi niya. Okay.
Hindi, wala naman tayong binabanggit na religion eh.
Oh, yun nga. Sige,
This is
sige.
all in the Bible.
Sige. Sige, sige ha. Okay, ngayon yung Augustinian theodicy, kasi theodicy, when you say theodicy, when you say it's a theodicy, it is the way to debunk this problem of evil. Ngayon, si Saint Augustine, I guess, also made one. This is naman what he said. He said that everything was perfect in the first place. Ang nangyari raw dyan is when it came to Adam and Eve, no, they of course followed, Eve initially followed the snake and bit the apple. And because of that, ang nangyari doon is God made tampo and started
Fruit of ano na yan? Fruit
Yeah.
of something. Hindi
fruit,
daw
fruit
siya,
of knowledge.
Oh, fruit of knowledge.
What happened was, ewan ko, nagtampo, and then he started creating evil, and then everybody started to suffer. And not only Adam and Eve suffered, but everyone under him, which means the whole human race at the end suffered. Therefore, it is not God's fault, raw, it is our fault. Yun. If I'm not mistaken, Augustinian theodicy yun. But, okay, but yeah, wait, I'll just finish that no. But that is of course assuming that that version of Adam and Eve is correct, in which yung sinabi nga niya, Gnosticism with the demiurge, they're saying not only is it correct, but it is inverted. Pero mamaya, sige, pag-usapan natin yon. Wait, from Miles to Nyakaw, as they say, God is the being which no greater can be conceived. What are your thoughts on this? Wait, exactly what do you mean by that?
Sabi niya, as they say, God is greater than ng maaarok ng ating knowledge. So it's like a question of agnosticism.
Yeah. Actually, alam mo, it's not only God naman which is greater than what you can conceive. Kasi as of now, I'm still trying to understand this idea that time does not exist, and in circumstances, time travels from future to present to past. Kasi normally, what we're taught in classical physics is past, present, as future. Actually, may version na ganon. And there's a scientist I know that says that it has already been proved in the lab that retrocausality ata ang tawag nun exists. Yun, no? So, it's not only God which no greater can be conceived. Pero yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think what you mean is we do not understand His motives. Therefore, pagbigyan natin, we will just assume that He is perfect.
Evil.
I think yun ang iniibig mong sabihin. Pero yun nga, actually that's also one defense, that you really don't know what is his motives. But that is the point nga, no? His creatures are
propaganda. That's propaganda.
Yeah. His creatures are suffering. He knows they are suffering. He doesn't do anything about it. Now, if he were perfect, no, he would just fix the whole thing, eh. Diba? Unless he is not, and he has to go through certain divine physical laws such na he's gonna make them happy at the end. Diba? In that case, he is not perfect because he is not omnipotent. Okay? Unless the other thing is, he is omnipotent, okay, but the thing is, he likes people to make sip-sip to him, and that's why he gives us all a hard time so that more people will pray for him. In that case, he is not omnibenevolent. Okay? If it's like ikaw, if you're God, would you actually put people in suffering so that they pray to you? I don't know with you, but me, I find that kind of sick.
Sadistic.
Oh, sadistic yun. Baka ano yan, may narcissistic personality disorder yun. No?
So, ontological argument for God existence. So, yung problem of suffering kasi, hindi siya question ng existence, eh. Question siya ng why will you call him God?
I'm not familiar with ano ba yung
ontological argument. Ontological argument is more on the existence. So they say that existence comes from the main essence of something. So which is the opposite of, ganito na lang, it's the opposite of what I believe in, which is existentialism. It's the opposite of ontological argument. So, yeah. It's based on ontological basis. So
wait, sige, I'm trying to read here.
So it's a necessary existence. I mean, existence. It's a necessary evil, parang ganun. Yung
Di mo
ibig
na-
sabihin. Which is yung in-explain mo kanina.
Wait. Kahit itong Wikipedia, malabo hindi ko maintindihan. Could. Yeah, problem of evil nga ang topic eh. Oo.
Problem of evil ang topic.
Oo,
Sorry, hindi ko
it's there, it's
nalagay
there.
dun sa ano. Bago mag-live,
okay.
dapat ilalagay
Oo,
pala.
problem of evil ang
So,
topic. And the thing is, with problem of evil, they're just debunking a perfect God. Ngayon, pag ontological existence, I do not know whether that is all the gods or only a perfect God.
Yeah, yes. Problem of evil ang topic. So, hindi siya about existence. So, yun. Yun din yung tanong ko kanina kay Master Ricky.
Huwag ka na magmaster. Wait, ha?
That's okay.
Tagal
that's
naman.
okay.
Nako, 11:07. Ha?
Sino to?
Si ano? Si
1
Raf.
hour na. Sabi mo, 1 hour na tayo.
1 hour na
We are expecting another one to join our chat session. Miles.
Click the link.
Hello, Emmanuel. How are you na? Kamusta ka na dyan? Miss you, pare. Mag-ano ulit tayo, meet up tayo.
Oo.
Punta kayo sa Ateos Pilipinas na meet up by Saturday next week. Pinlagyan.
Yan. Wait lang ha. Sige. So, next.
Nakatropa rin kasi natin yun nandun. Yung dating sekretary ng Patas, which is si Eve Landas. Ayan, nasa Ateos siya.
Wala raw lumalabas sa ano.
Bigay mo yung link. Punta ka sa ano natin.
Yan, this one, di ba? Wait, ha?
Bigay mo yung link mismo ng live. Click mo yung punta ka sa
Okay.
page natin. And then,
Oh, wala nga dito.
sa baba.
Sa baba.
Yan.
Okay.
So, yung link,
Wait.
copy link. So, yun nga. Mabalik tayo sa existence. Gusto kong topic kasi yan eh. Kasi, alam mo yun, paborito ko yung essence before existence. Is it essence before existence or existence before essence? Kailangan mo ba essence sa isang bagay bago siya mag-exist? O kailangan ng existence bago siya magkaroon ng essence? So, yan. Pag-usapan natin yan next time. Pero
Okay.
ngayon, problem of evil tayo. Yun ang pang tapat ko sa ontological argument.
Okay, ha?
Oo, takits tayo. Man.
Okay. Ngayon, the other thing pala, which will also bother a lot of them, no, is if there is no God, then they have a lot of philosophical questions. The thing is, you may have a lot of philosophical questions, but just because there is seemingly no happy ending and it bursts your bubble, it doesn't mean that it is wrong. Okay? Me personally, as SBNR, spiritual but not religions, I also have my ideas on how the whole thing is worked out, no? And I also believe there's no perfect God, but there are, beings out there also. But maybe that's for another, video
naman
also.
dito yun. Soundproof.
Oo nga pala, no? I guess so. Yung aircon lang. Oo.
Soundproof.
Yun.
Okay lang po dito mag-ingay.
Yan. Ngayon, when it comes to kahit yung Agustinian Theodicy, pag-usapan na natin. At bahala na kung may magalit.
It's up to you, sir. Master.
Basta-
You're the master.
Basta ikaw no? O sige. Okay, so anyway, ngayon yung Agustinian Theodicy kasi it's like this, no? Na at the beginning, everything was perfect, and then at the end, ang nangyari raw is that Adam and Eve ate the apple, and because of that, God put evil. Number one, if you're going to put the tree of knowledge there, and you are omniscient, you would yung all-knowing, you would very well know that your creatures are gonna eat the apple. And it seems that you didn't know. So, dun pa lang, you're not perfect. Okay? And number two, for them to do something like that, and you're supposed to know it, and you're going to make them suffer, and not only that, the whole humanity suffer, I don't think you would even be considered omnibenevolent or even benevolent in the first place. Saan ka nakakita na yung ninuno mo, no, nagkamali, Tapos kahit ikaw magsasuffer ng ganun.
Utang ni ano,
Ha?
yung utang ng mga... Ay, bawal pala palit ko dito. Sorry.
Yun, no? So
Hanggang
yung
sa kapwa natin, magbabayad nun.
so yung palang medyo tagilid na yon. Yun.
May
Ngayon,
tanong si ano.
oo, evil is the opposite of good. It is not.
What's your thought on the definition of evil? That evil is just a privation
Yeah, okay.
of the good.
Medyo nabasa ko yan, no? And yun nga, that's the problem. If you call it problem of evil, people will start debating on the definition of evil. Okay, so ang ginawa ko nga kanina is just take it off. Just don't call it evil. Just call it problem of suffering. Because suffering, all of us know na pag tayo nahirapan, suffering yon. So, ganun na lang para tapos. But, I'm not sure about this privation of good. But I watched it also somewhere. So, here, we're assuming na it's really problem of suffering. Which means na, if suffering occurs, then a perfect God does not exist because a perfect God would be able to take off suffering. An all-powerful God would be able to take off suffering. And an all-benevolent God would want to take off all suffering. And for me, not only suffering, even boredom, he should be able to take it out. Okay, all of us should live in bliss all day long and
Actually,
all that.
spot on din si ating Emmanuel Joseph Cas. Si Emmanuel nga pala, ang tawag sa kanya ay ano, the atheist teacher. Atheist teacher. Kasi kinuha siya sa school nila na atheist and teacher siya.
Teacher pala.
So,
Ay, baka may philo background siya.
nakalimutan ko yung tinuturo niya. Pero science ata, evil is the opposite of good. If it's not good, it's evil unless we go to the grave. Okay. Spot on ka dyan, Sir Emmanuel. Sir Emmanuel, ano nga bang tinuturo mo ulit? You are the atheist teacher, di ba?
Baka may ano rin siya. Baka may channel rin siya.
Meron sila every Sunday, meron sila Sir Emmanuel naman. Pero ibang group siya eh.
Pero
Atheist group din.
atheist siya. May marami palang atheist group, no? Yan, pasama.
Kotri.
Public elementary.
Science teacher. Yan.
Oh my God. Baka magreklamo
Thank you, Sir Eman.
yung mga magulang.
Hindi naman, hindi yan.
No, kasi elementary pa lang eh. Alam mo naman dito sa Pilipinas.
Sa Pilipinas. Pero public eh. Kasi pag public, diba? Separation of ano.
Yeah. Strictly speaking, but someone told me that he actually went into a government office and he found one room full of statues of saints, which is not supposed to be true. Oo.
Pero I'm not defending the churches, pero I think meron silang somewhere in ano eh in the law na they can practice their religion.
Yeah, no. Ang alam ko they can practice their religion, but the government should not make it look kind of official. Now, the thing is, in the room, there is actually a room subsidized by the government that has all the statues.
Exactly.
So,
may ano nga eh, may aside from that, there's also a Muslim mosque rin.
kung mayroong iba-iba.
May iba-ibang religion. So I think every public school has that. Na meron they practice different religion. So not just one religion.
Oo.
I think it's okay as long as it's not just one religion.
Oo.
Philippine Atheist at Cotteret Atheist. Yan yung group niya.
Yan, okay. So, education should be separate from religious influence. Okay. So, ngayon, wait. Okay, ngayon, yung Augustinian theodicy nga, no? So basically, ganun ang idea, no? Na the fall of man, suffering only started at the fall of man because Adam and Eve ate the apple, but it depends, But what's this? At the beginning, everything was perfect in the first place. Well, actually, that is the version of the Christians, no? Ngayon, we also have to take note na, ganito ito eh. When you're trying to figure out and study yours for me, you're supposed to be like a judge. Nasa gitna ka, you figure out what's right and what's wrong. But the problem is, some people, they act like lawyers. Kesyo mali sila o tama, no? Tama pa rin sila. You will always side with your religion, which I find kinda wrong. Okay? Ngayon, minsan, ganyan na nangyayari na sa akin yung mga theodicy. Minsan, parang pilit na eh. Sa pilitan na they have to prove it this way. But you know, if you're a child and when you look at it, halatang halata naman talaga na, you know, it doesn't make sense anymore. Ngayon, going back to Agustiniano, what I'm stating is like this. The Christian version is that God is good and the snake is bad. Okay? But there are other belief systems where it is actually not only different, but it is reversed. Okay? Ngayon, ang nangyayari sa version nila, ganito. Ang version nila, okay, you can Google this, Gnosticism, Gnosticism, and then put Demiurge, Demiurge, and also Sophia, Sophia. Ngayon, ang version naman ng mga iba, ganito, was that the Old Testament God, kasi ganito, no? Okay, I'm talking naman to atheists. Ang version naman kasi nila is that the one big thing, no, is the Old Testament God is different from Jesus Christ. And when you look at it, the atheists, they really don't have much to complain about Jesus Christ. Maybe if they have something to complain about him, he is too passive. But not too much. I don't know if Jesus Christ is homophobic, hindi naman ata, no? Usually, their complaint is with the Old Testament God. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, all you have to do is go into the websites www.biblicalnonsense.com. Nandun na lahat yon. Okay? Or www.evilbible.com. Nandun na rin lahat yon. Okay? You just read that and you are going to get shocked at what is there. Okay? And yun nga, the atheists, ang nangyayari is they're complaining about the Old Testament God. Not really the New Testament God, which is Jesus Christ. Christianity believes that they are one and the same. Father and Son na, some way or another, they're the same. But other belief systems believe that they are separate. Okay? Now, when you look at it, mukha naman talagang iba yung dalawa eh. And ang version nila is like this. Is that the Old Testament God put Adam and Eve into a prison so that they will not know their godhood. And in able to get the godhood, okay, all they had to do was take a taste from the tree of knowledge and eat the apple. That's why it's called tree of knowledge, because they will know what is good and evil. Adam and Eve were influenced by the snake, which the other group says is the good guy. Okay? And of course, the Old Testament God was pissed. Okay? So ganun naman ang storya ng isa. But again, you can research on your own about that version. So yun, what I'm saying lang is, of course, the Augustinian theodicy is based on the idea that their version of Adam and Eve is correct. Okay, which may or may not be correct. But you know, this thing of the Gnosticism, it's going to take several hours if we discuss that topic. Eh. Masyadong madugo yun eh. Okay, but if I were you take a look at it also. Yun. So, ikaw, ano pa?
Kaya pa yun sa Genesis, kung mababasa mo sa Genesis, puro plural. Nakakasin mo ba yan?
Yeah. Genesis, yung God is plural. Ganito if you really want to research, ang ginawa ko dati, nung panahon pa ng mga disket, nakakuha ako ng 30 diskettes. And, in fact, dati meron esword.net ata, you can download it. No? But right now, it's on the net. You don't have to download any program. But the best thing to do talaga is you download the Bible, not one version, but all the versions you can find. 10 of them. Okay? And when you find 10 of them, you can actually make the verses beside each other. Alam mo, iba-iba talaga pinagsasabi nila. Kaya na-turn off talaga ako. And yung sinasabi niya is like this Sometimes, in the Bible, no, in English it is God, But in the Bible, the Latin, the Greek or Hebrew word is yan Elohim. And Elohim is actually plural. That's why they're saying, hindi naman talaga isa yan, it's several. But it's not only Elohim. Marami yan eh.
Christians would debunk that and would say that it's the reason why it's plural is because the Son and the Holy Spirit was already there at the beginning. So tatlo na sila, Trinity na sila nandun.
Oo.
So kaya siya we. Yun ang dahilan nila.
Kaya lang,
But they assume kasi hindi naman nakalagay ng dapat nakasulat doon specifically, but they just assume kasi hindi naman nakasulat doon eh.
Pero
It's still assumption.
there-
Assumption is
there are other
of course,
things
the
rin
policy.
which are also not nice. Like yan, this guy with a Japanese name, no? Anyway, ito rin ang nahalata ako eh. He's talking about King James Version. Before, I would always look at King James Version. Kasi,
Lucifer is only in King James.
talaga?
Hindi mo
ang
siya makikita sa lahat. Kasi nagkamali yung nagtatranslate sa King James.
O mamaya, kung gusto mo, pag-usapan natin si Lucifer. So, iba-iba pinag-uusapan natin. Ako,
Oo,
ang rami kong magiging
sabog na.
alam mo, pag ito nag-viral, marami tayong kagalit. Anyway, karamay ko patas ngayon. Ikaw konsentidor ngayon. Okay.
Wala naman tayo minabanggit na religion. Okay lang.
Sinasabi mo, Bible eh.
Hindi, marami naman gumagamit ng Bible. Lahat ng denomination.
Ngayon, if you want to research, what I used to do is like this. I look at King James kasi ang King James, the words there, may subscript, may superscript yan on a certain number, and those are King James numbers. And when you click that, you will see the Greek Hebrew word connected to it. And also the root word and ganyan-ganyan. And if I'm not mistaken, dati, tiningnan ko nga yung isa eh. The kings visited when Jesus visited Bethlehem when Jesus was born. We all assume 3 kings. When you look at it, hindi naman sila tatlo. I think it was assumed that it was 3 because 3 gifts, but not 3 kings yon. And then I was figuring out, bakit kings? Paano naging kings yon? So I checked the root word magi. Okay. When you look at it, paano naging kings yung magi? Sana ginawa na nilang okay na yung wise man or better magician. 'Di ba? Kasi magician, 'di ba? So sabi ko paano naging kings 'yon? So don't questionable na until later there's a way kasi before na yung magi na yan, you find out all of the other English words in the Bible na it's called magi. And then I found out one reference was called sorcerer. So sabi ko bakit ganyan? Pagkakampi ni Jesus, yung magi nagiging kings. Pagkalaban ni Jesus, yung magi nagiging sorcerer. See, so parang maraming ganyan ako nakita dati. That's why in a few days, sabi ko, parang, alam mo, medyo
spot on to. If God is actually perfect, wala ng New Testament.
Isa pa yun.
Exactly.
Kasi, if God is actually perfect, He is all-knowing, and He will not change His mind. Like, I think, He changed His mind, and He actually said na naaawa raw siya with the flood, di ba?
I'm training myself to read the New Revised Standard
Version of the Bible. Oo.
It's very good, very good.
Yeah, oo. Pero if I were you, you try isabay-sabay mo. Like once, ganito ha, Magi, di ba? Alam mo, there was one Bible, ang Magi, ang tawag sa kanila, astrologer.
Talaga?
Oh, astrologer talaga. Shock ako, oh. So imagine, there the astrologers visited, but in another verse, if you're an astrologer, parang you'll go to hell.
Yung
Parang
ganun kasi, yung sabi nga ni Bart, the Dr. Barter, man, familiar with Barter?
No.
He's a doctor, he's an agnostic atheist who's into New Testament. I also suggest his books. He said people are trying to reconcile the Bible kasi nga yung New Testament kasi iba-iba nga yung sinasabi ng per gospel. And each gospel iba-iba rin yung author, and then yung author na yon pen name pa yung gamit, di ba? Yeah. Then if they would be writing, since hindi consistent kasi yung New Testament when it comes to storytelling. So, iba-iba yung sequence ng story, then iba-iba yung kung sinong masyadong political yung New Testament, actually yung Revelations. It is written to scare people from different areas. So, ginawa siya.
Wait, what do you mean areas? From different religions?
Hindi, kasi nagkadahati-hati eh. Yung iba, nung namatay daw si Christ, yung iba, na kay Peter, yung iba na kay, kay Paul.
Mm.
So, mag-iba kasi, magkaibang ano yun eh, magkaibang tribo.
Mm.
Iba si Peter, iba si Paul. So, yun, yung Peter is rock, yung iba pinapalo si Paul, yung iba pinapalo si Peter. So, nagawa yung revelations. Kasi si Paul, lumabas si Paul, patay na si Jesus eh. Siya yung
Actually,
pinakahuling,
ang alam ko the whole Bible was made, I think, 100 years after Jesus died. And none of the authors were there during Jesus' time. I think ganun kalala eh. Oo. Ganun kalala. Kaya,
Pero yung sinasabi nila is, yung si Paul lang yung ganun. Si Peter, panahon pa ni Jesus. Si Paul lang yung
No, but Peter, was he an author of the one of the books? Ang alam ko, wala. I-check mo.
Yun nga yung
Parang
sinasabi ni Bart
minsan.
Ehrman, wala daw kasi lahat daw yun pen name. And then, it is all forged. Kasi mahal nga naman yung pagpapaano niya.
Ayan, 60 to 70 years.
Yeah.
Ganon. Actually, yan ang sinasabi na the Bible is inerrant.
Yeah, true.
Something like that. But when you look
Super.
at it, no, in fact, dati nakipagdebate ako dyan, sabi ko, and then he said, show me a verse where there is a
Dami.
contradiction. So, alam mo, mag-google ka lang, Bible contradictions, lumabas eh. Nung nilabas,
Dami.
kinat and paste ko lahat. Tapos, nung nilagay ko doon, sabi, why so long? He goes, because he said, place as many as you can. Dinalit niya talaga, haba-haba. Marami talaga yan. See?
Dami.
Alam mo, just me, I tried writing a book. I actually came out already, no? And even a short story. And one thing you're supposed to do is to make everything consistent. One should not go against what the other thing is. And for a piece of literature which claims that it is inerrant, just
Exactly.
go.
Yun
Diba?
ang weird sa sa korte. Kasi sa korte, you would place their hand sa Bible.
On the Bible.
Na full of lies because in the first place,
Full of lies.
Iba-iba yung istorya, di ba? So, is it like already an implication that someone would tell a lie?
Oh my God.
Kaya nga eh, it's so ironic eh, kasi, sa korte kasi may tinatawag na kapag yung witness, pag umarap sa'yo is hindi siya credible. Kasi iba-iba yung sinasabi na dun siya hindi papaniwalaan ng tao, parang gano'n. So, same with the Bible, di ba? Iba-iba siya ng istorya. So,
Ngayon, nasabi rin ng iba, it is so big that talagang magkaka-errors. But my point is, you claim it is inerrant, pala may errors. That's one. Number two is, I have never heard of other religious books that there are contradictions. Kung meron, hindi ganun kalala eh. But again, there are more people reading the Bible. So, malay mo,
Hindi
diba?
mapolitika talaga yung New Testament. Mas mapolitika yung sa Old. Kasi yung New Testament, yung si Paul, si Paul kasi yung bulag na na
Hindi ko alam.
Saint Paul, yung mga taga Saint Paul dyan. Yun yung bulag na romance, yung isa siya sa mga pumatay, yung mga Romans kasi, pinapatay nila yung mga Kristiyano. Kaso ito si Paul, bumaliktad siya, kumampi siya sa mga Christian. Dahil daw nakita niya si Jesus, ganyan.
Ay, naku.
Yun yung istorya niya. Nagsulat din siya ng Bible niya.
Oo.
So, sa New Testament, yung mga politika yan kasi siniraan niya si Peter. Si Peter, siniraan din siya.
Oo.
Ganon.
Well,
So, magkaiba sila ng istorya na nangyari sa ending ni Christ kasi, di ba yung tilaok ng manok, yung ganon, nagsiraan yan nagsiraan sila eh.
Well, actually, kung gusto mong meron akong isang channel na I follow, no? And all of the controversies are there, no? Ang pangalan niya, Morgue Official. M-O-R-G-U-E Official. One word yon. Okay? Ngayon, it's not an atheist channel, it's more on spirituality. But, you learn a little from everywhere naman eh. You don't have to believe the whole thing, no? And he will even talk about the hidden Bibles. Like, he even talks about, for the feminists, he even talks about Mary Magdalene and how come it was taken out, no? And, the women, like there are even some people saying that Eve was not the first woman.
Oh, really?
May isa pa raw, si Lilith ata.
Si Lilith.
Si Lilith. But they took her out raw because she was Because masyado siyang matapang. Lilith wanted to be an equal to Adam.
Si Sophia nga nasa Bible eh.
Oh, si Sofia. Oh, isa
diba?
pang matindi yun. Ah, si Sofia?
Oh, nasa Bible si Sophia.
Ah, yun ang hindi ko alam.
Sa Sophia sa Bible. Kasi si Sophia ay nasa Old Testament.
That's why yan, if you like to look at all of the other theories,
Marami.
marami.
Mali talaga sa Bible if you try to read it.
Well, actually,
Back to back.
ito naman ang ginagawa ko minsan eh. Not only in terms of religion, spirituality, but even in terms of news, no? Minsan kasi, you watch the news, you read it, parang you will say something is wrong. And then when you read somewhere else, which is supposedly yung kalaban, and supposedly gives propaganda, pag binasa mo, napakadali. Ngayon mag-iisip ka, sino ba talaga yung nagsisinungaling dito? Kasi like right now, they always say Russians give propaganda and all. I actually look at, actually hindi siya Russian media, but it's more of Indian media. And then,
Al Jazeera?
no, not only that, yun, medyo skandaloso na yun. Pero WION, W-I-O-N, and they're getting banned left and right also. And that's why they're saying na they sometimes get banned in YouTube, therefore, why don't you just download their app? Ang rami, and when you read it, no, parang, bakit ang dali-dali? And then when I see my parents, I say, has this come out in the mainstream? Hindi raw. Sabi ko, bakit ganyan? Hindi sinasabi sa mainstream. Eh, kitang-kita na in the other media. Like for example, the war in Ukraine, no? Europe na raw is on the verge of... Yan, yun. Europe is on the verge of freezing in the winter. Because Russia is not giving them enough oil. I said, hindi ba lumalabas yun sa mainstream? Parang hindi raw, no?
Hindi.
O hindi lumalabas, Sus Mariosep. Bakit hindi nyo ilalabas?
Kahit yung basa mo.
Kaya kahit ano dyan. Yun. That's why yun, may policies ganyan rin. Lahat basahin ninyo. Lahat ng bawal basahin rin ninyo. And then you just tell yourself, kung kunyari, sabay mo silang binasa nung bata ka at wala kang bias, kanino ka maniniwala? Ganun lang naman talaga yun eh. No? It's like when I was young, ang nangyari sa akin was, if I weren't born a Christian, would I be a Christian?
Wait, ito kasi hindi mo ito mababasa sa Bible, Master Ricky. Ano kasi to eh? Politics na to eh.
Oh.
Kung bakit nahati ang Kristyanismo. Di ba Catholic and then nagkaroon ng
Protestant.
Dahil nga yun kay Peter tsaka kay Paul. Catholic follows Peter, Christian follow Paul.
Oo, parang gano'n, pero hindi ko rin na ano.
Yeah, yun.
Yeah, but even before that, may Gnostic Christians pa.
Yeah.
Isa pa yon. And they were killed so badly na we even forgot that they exist because their books were also burned, I think, and all that. See? That's why yun, talagang malaking gulo talaga. But but at least, with the internet, napakadali ng
dali nang ma-decipher lahat.
Madali na. And
information technology.
Yeah, and not only that, thanks to Google, after a while, it will give you articles which are similar to what you had looked at before. That's why may good side rin naman ng Google. Sabihin na natin they're snooping. At least, later, all your articles will be of similar alignment. So, ikaw na lang ang bahalang tumingin-tingin. Kaya gustong-gusto ko rin ng Google kasi later yung YouTube ko, halos lahat ng lumalabas na suggested ng Google.
Yes,
magaganda na.
There was also Protestant Reformation. Kay Calvin na. Ira na ni John Calvin yan. And then, Nicene Creed.
Yeah, oo. Pero yun nga, you also research on Gnosticism because I
Pero
think
Gnosticism was there before
before,
before the
And if you really wanna see the scandal, nandun, kasi you look, pag Protestant and Catholic yon, kahit paano magkakampihan pa rin yan eh. Okay? They are not going to debunk the Bible. They were both side with it. They will fight with each other, but when they find something is wrong, they're not gonna say it's
they
wrong.
Will reconcile each
Yeah,
other.
they will reconcile each
and
other.
they will create their own Bible.
So, ang gawin mo, talagang you even, hanapin mo yung mga kalaban nila. Yun, para makikita mo talaga all the sides. Yun ang ginagawa ko. And then what I do naman, in terms of news nga, because you read American news, pro-American. You read Russian news, pro-Russian. So what I do is, I get I get someone who is at the middle. India is kinda pro-Russian, but at least, kahit papano, it's kinda centrist already. Or if you want to see what's China's side, you try getting an American who wants to talk against China, yung ganon, no? But
But if
what
we-
point ko, you read everybody na lang.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yan, I think that was what the pros.
Yes, it is. Protestant Reformation.
Diba, saan yung mouse ko? Ito. Kasi parang-
Ayun, so, problem yung table natin, layo na napunta.
Malayo na, hindi na
Sorry
ba-
napunta na kami sa malayo. Yes, it's because of the cache and cookies. Ayun, kasi sabi niya, algorithm of YouTube is based on what you actually click open. Yung lalabas lagi. So, yun. Kung ayaw mo parating, lumalabas yung mga sinerch mo, mag-clear ka lang ng cache or you can go to incognito.
Yan. Algorithm of what you actually click, often yun yung lalabas lagi sa feeds mo based on their tags and comments. Yun nga. Kaya natutuwa rin ako dyan kay YouTube, kay Google at kay YouTube eh. Yun. Ngayon, if you want to hide naman, me, what I do, kasi praning ako, pero medyo malayo na ito, ha? Okay. No. What I do naman is
Yung friend mo
nakapasok, ewan ko, two pa lang yan eh. Mukhang hindi Well, anyway, yan. Ayun, ko lang nakita. Ngayon, me, what I did, no, it's medyo malayo na yung topic, no, but if you're really kind of paranoid, which sometimes I am minsan, and you really want to search, no, and to make sure that Big Brother and all the governments are not snooping on you, ang ginawa ko, bumili ako ng pinakamurang Asus laptop, 15,000 pesos. Pagpunta ko doon, sabi ko, take off the Wi-Fi chip. Kasi pag walang Wi-Fi chip, talagang hindi ka mapapasukan. Okay? Kasi before, when I hard reset my gadget, Google actually asked, will you allow Google to turn on your Wi-Fi even without you knowing? May ganun pala. That's why napraning ako. Tinanggal ko yung Wi-Fi chip ko. Tinanggal ko pa yung hard drive ko. Tapos, I am booting from a USB drive na lang. Which was, and the software I'm using was endorsed by no less than Edward Snowden. Yun. Yun, kung talagang praning ka, yun ang gawin mo para talagang walang ka-trace yun. And do not log into Google anymore. Yun. No? Pero minsan, no? Pero nakakatamad minsan to do that eh. So
Sometimes, privacy change kasi, like, for example, yung mga kids ngayon, syempre, mas gusto nilang nakikita sila, mas gusto nilang na-open yung wifi nila, kasi mas gusto nilang nakikita sila ng media.
Yeah.
Because they want popularity. They chase, cloud chaser na tawag sa kanila eh.
Cloud chaser.
They want,
Cloud.
cloud.
C-L-O-U-T.
So, para sumikat, gano'n. Hindi nila tinatanggalin. They don't care about privacy anymore.
Well, kasi nangyayari nga, mas marami na raw narcissists ngayon because of all the social media.
Yeah,
That's why it's breaking our... Naku, ano pag-uusapan natin? Kahit ano na lang.
Ay, oo nga, no? Ay,
No,
mabalik tayo
actually,
sa
medyo ano naman walang problema. Ewan ko, tanong mo sa kanila kung gusto nila, kung ano pa gusto nila pag-usapan. Malay mo, maging topic next time.
Next time.
Oo.
Talk about technology.
Technology naman. Yan, you can use bootable. Yun nga gamit ko. Bootable USB. Nakalimutan ko pangalan eh. Oo. Yun sa akin, simple lang eh. I hit 4 hours.
Ay, merong message si
Enlightenment was fueled due to France civil war between Protestant and
Catholic.
Catholics.
Exactly. Ay, hindi. Bumalik na sa taas.
FB always bans.
Bakit bumababa?
I don't know.
Ako, nakapag-research lang ng maayos about different religion nung nagpunta ako sa ibang bansa. Dito masyadong bias sa Christianity.
Okay, ngayon, Emmanuel, no, it's okay to research about all the religions, but you also try researching about spirituality with no religion. You can start with the Googling SBNR, which is spiritual but not religious. There's actually something like that para wala kang inaamo.
Hello, Marlo. Everyday po ba kayong nagla-live?
Ako! Ano? Gusto ba niya everyday? Hindi ba kayo
work ako
nabobore?
eh. May work ako. Pero kaya mo ba mag-isa, Master Ricky?
Naku! Alam mo, ngayon pa lang ako nag-live ng ito, makapal na yung mukha ko ngayon. Thanks to my influencer friend. Sinabi ko nga sa kanya na dahil sa kanya ang kapal ng mukha ko ngayon. Sabi niya, hindi, malakas lang ang, hindi raw makapal ang mukha niya. Ano raw siya, malakas lang raw ang loob. Sige na nga.
Every week na lang, Sir Marlo. Every week kaming magla-live. Every Saturday.
Ano, gusto mo?
Pero next Sunday po pala kami. Kasi Saturday po may Ateos Pilipinas, meet up
Naku!
nakalimutan ko yung area. Punta lang kayo sa page nila.
Kaya lang, kung magre-regular live kami, mag-subscribe kayo sa channel namin. Kasi actually, yan, ipa-plug ko na.
Sige, plug
Yun.
mo.
Kasi ganito, ako spiritual but not religious. The video now na medyo marami is my meditation, no? So if you want to see it, Ricky Maramba 4-phase meditation. Yun, lalabas yun kaagad. Kasi pag Ricky Maramba lang, hindi ko alam kung lalabas yun eh. Anyway, what I intend to do is come out with videos on not necessarily atheism but spirituality, ano pa ba ito, relationships, all of the topics which no one wants to talk about kasi baka maban sila.
Yung
Ngayon,
mushroom po ba? Yung
mushrooms?
meditation po.
Ay, hindi ako nagma-magic mushroom, but I know friends who do that. That is a hallucinogenic. Now, some say it's not exactly illegal. Some say it's really, really legal. But it's a hallucinogenic. Parang LSD ata yun eh. No? But my friends who took that became very, very enlightened. Oo. I know several who have taken that. Oo. The other one is ayahuasca. Alam, balita mo rin yan.
Not yet.
Yan. But me personally, wala pa. I have not taken
Have you
that.
tried it?
No, wala pa. Kahit alak lang nga, bihira ako uminom. Yun pa, naku. Okay.
They are very enlightened.
Oo, it will make you raw
Maybe
enlightened.
we can try it. Then we'll go.
Ay!
I was just kidding.
Si Kuya Manzano siguro, ewan ko, he's the type to try that. So, kayong dalawang mag-usap tungkol
I'm
dyan.
just kidding.
Tingnan mo na, ano pa bang topic gusto nyo? If not now, next week, nag-add kayo ng tao, sama mo na yung old folks para natuto yung mga new members.
Sige. Sino ba? Kilala mo si Sir Socrates?
Si ano? Naku, oo, one of the pioneers yun.
Gusto mo bang i-message ko siya?
I-add siya sa ano?
I-message ko.
Para sa ano?
Kasi, nakausap ko siya last month.
Oo.
Kasi, nagpunta ako sa BRP. Nagpa-check up ako ng dugo for hypertension, ganyan. So, may nakausap ako nurse doon na kaibigan ni Sir Eric Socrates. So, may message ko si Sir Eric. Before the pandemic pala, active pa sila.
Active pa siya. Siya yung biker, di ba? Hindi natuloy yung biking namin dati eh. Oo, paakyat. Mas matarik pa sa Antipolo. Buti nga hindi natuloy kasi later nalaman ko mahirap pala yun. Ulan eh. Oo. Fit naman si Eric.
Ayan.
Eric ba yun? Socrates.
What's your thought about Illuminism?
What Illuminism?
What is Illuminism po? Hindi rin namin alam. Ano yan?
Illuminism? Illuminati? Ano ba yun?
Illuminati ba yan?
Or Illuminism, yung illumination, yung being...
Is that the light? Illumination, yung ilaw? Illuminate? From the word illuminate?
Tima, bakit live dalawa? Mukhang mas marami na sa dalawa.
Nga, meron marami na.
Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Okay.
No, I haven't researched about that yet, but I think it's a fraternity, diba?
Yun. Well, actually, ganito ito, no? Alam mo, minsan hindi mo na alam kung sino yung totoo, sino yung hindi, sino yung good side, sino yung bad side. Okay? Ngayon, Illuminati, I think, started by, illumination, no? Yung para bang, it's a spiritual org. I think ganun yun eh. But some people say it is bad. Now, I really don't know. I haven't researched on it, no. Pero one thing kasi alam mo, the idea of good and evil, the factions are not really clear cut, no. Minsan may good side, minsan may bad side, pero minsan yung bad side nai-infiltrate ng good side, tuloy yung good side ends up being bad, no. Kasi
so
nakikerry yung name.
So, nag-exist talaga yung Illuminati.
Yeah. Now, Illuminati, I don't know kung ganun ang kaso niya. Kasi, meron ako nababasa na mabait. Meron ako nababasa na hindi magano. Oo, like Masonry, isa pang usapan yan, no?
So, it's just like Masonry, yung Illuminati.
Parang, I think secret society, yung mga ganyan.
Mm.
Ngayon, I read somewhere na you can't blame raw these secret societies kasi the reason why they're secret is because if they place their teachings publicly, they're going to be shamed. They're going to be, ano ba tawag nila ngayon dyan? They're gonna be canceled. Cancel culture, oo. So, they're just playing safe. Like, kunyari, yun nga, di ba? Yung sinabi ko, yung sa Demiurge, Gnosticism. Nako, if I say that 10 years ago, baka may pumunta dito, minumura-mura ako. Kasi talagang ang Gnosticism, brutal yan. Ang belief nila, ganito. The snake is good, the Old Testament is Satan, and Jesus Christ is the kalaban which came here to correct which the Old Testament God, Satan, has done. It's that blasphemous.
So, parang napanood ko yan, yung white yung hair niya na, ano, basta, papakita ko
Sino
sa'yo.
ba yan?
Hindi, ano siya, vlogger din.
Vlogger, hindi ko alam. Pero yun, no, so, So, ang nangyari is, I don't exactly know already kung sino ba talaga yung mabait or sino yung hindi mabait. Like, dyan pa lang sa Russia versus the West, you hear both sides, hindi mo alam kung sinong paniniwalaan eh. Okay? And in religion, ang kutob ko ganyan na rin. Nagkakasiraan yan, nagkaka-infiltration yan, no?
Yung nagutom ako, barbarian daw. Barbarian. Ay, hindi barbarian.
Yun. That's why, yun ang advice ko. Talagang you read everything. Ngayon, sige, ito pa isang tip na I intend to put it out also, no? As a video, is that, usually ang atheists kasi ganito, no? What's nice with you guys is you have deductive reasoning. Okay? Now, the thing lang is, a lot of decisions are not based on something which is tried, tested, and peer-reviewed. Kuha mo. If that were true, ano na nangyari sa naghahanap ka ng girlfriend and you have to figure out the whole thing bago mo ligawan. Maraming parang hypothesis na nangyayari. And based on the hypothesis pa lang, a decision is already made. You get it? Yung ganon. And in life, a lot of decisions are made without the full proof. That's why kayo na bahala exactly how far up the proof it has to be before you believe. Or me, what I do naman is that I never really fully believe unless there is deductive reasoning. Walang kaso yan. But there are things which I am open to but do not necessarily believe. Because I believe na, kahit konti, meron ng hypothesis na it's quite possible that is true. Kasi kung maghihintay kayo na until fully proven yun, baka kayo mahuli. Like kunyari, in investing, di ba? If you invest in something, when you are already sure nakikita siya, patay ka na, lugi ka na kasi tumaas na presyo. So, it's up for you to speculate at the beginning. Okay? You're not sure it will go up, but you hope it will go up. Kung nagkamali ka, di cut loss, atras ka kaagad. So, ganon personally, ganon ang ginagawa ko, no? Na, however, when you make a decision, you should always know na on any time, posibleng mali ka. Ngayon, with the idea of God, ganun rin ako. Okay? I do not believe in a perfect God, but I'm open to other things. Now, why it may be possible, you look at the near-death experiences. No, there are some people who get to see things which were kind of impossible to say without really being conscious at the time of death, being flatlined. Unless, of course, they're all lying. That's the other thing, no? So, for me, I'm not saying it's proof. No? Pero, the thing is, it's at the back of my head. Kaya, ganon ako palagi. Okay? Ngayon, however, this perfect God thing, itong problem of evil, for me, deductive na yan eh. for me, medyo obvious na yan eh. That's why, with me, however, yun nga, So, it depends on you. Tama naman na, you shouldn't believe unless there is proof. But, you have to be open to it, even though there's no full proof. And then, ikaw na mag-decide whether or not, mag-ano ka. Like kunyari, like this, no? Ako, nagme-meditate ako. Me, talagang, natanggal yung anxiety problem ko and all, no? And sometimes I go to an atheist, I said, would you want to try it out? Sabi niya, no, Ricky, because I don't believe in that stuff. Sa loob-loob ko, you don't have to believe in it. You can just try it. Kung tumama, di tumama. Kung hindi tumama, di hindi tumama. Malay mo, kung tumama, anong natalo sa'yo? Di sayang lang yung oras mo, 1 oras. Baka 15 minutes pa lang nga. So yun, that's why it's up to you. You don't have to fully believe. Pero one thing which we both highly agree on is na yung mga ibang religious fundamentalists, talagang mga pain in the neck talaga yung mga yan. And it's not because of what they believe in, but it's because napakakulit nila. Ako, maano talaga tayo nito. Okay? So, it's because of that. No?
Master Ricky, before we wrap up, kasi mag-12 na.
Bakit? Ikaw may ano ka ba?
Hindi. Ang question ko is, what's your stand?
On what?
On your belief. So, you are spiritual.
Me, I'm spiritual but not
getting to know you
religious. Okay? I do not believe in organizational religion. Para akong nag-MMA, no? What works, I get. What doesn't work, I take off. I do not fully believe in everything I believe, but I follow it, and it seems naman na it has made me happier. I hardly get depressed. I hardly get stressed. When dati, masasabi mong depressed ako at may anxiety disorder ako dati. No? I even had stage fright and I couldn't talk. Ngayon, hindi na nangyari yan. Ngayon, tingnan mo, nag-live pa nga, kapal na
So,
nga ng mukha ko.
do you tend to believe in higher being or
Oo,
deity?
yeah. Afterlife, oo. Higher being, deity, oo. But, I'm similar to a Buddhist. Ang sinasabi nila is, there are other deities. However, you shouldn't exactly worship them kasi parang it is going to stunt your spiritual growth. May ganun sila baliktad sila However, someone told me, Ricky, watch what you're saying because some religions are going to insist that you still worship the deity. So, kanya-kanyang ang style yan, okay?
So, are you atheist or...
So, yun nga, I'm atheist in the terms of a perfect God. Talagang for me, no way, imposible, no? Now, in terms of other gods, I am open but I will not worship them. Kasi ang point ko, I do not worship my parents. I do not worship anything. Why should I worship in a God? I mean, bakit kulang sa pansin ba yun? Diba? Kung ikaw, Diyos ka, I mean, kailangan mo pa ba ng worship? Hindi naman Okay? That's why for me, wala. I do not worship them. No?
Yeah. So, yun, nice. So, maliwanag na po sa atin si Master Ricky po ay isang
pero yun,
atheist.
pero yun na yung channel I told nga Richard na I also want to make one playlist all on atheist issues on how to debate with religious fundamentalists. Okay, so one is problem of evil, the other one is probably Pascal's wager. Yan dalawa lang naman talaga ang malaki Pag yan, nayari mo na sila sa ganyan, ewan ko kung ano pa masasabi nila, no? Yung dalawa lang naman yun
Depende kasi, bagay yun.
Oo.
Yun ang mga normie na...
Kaya yun, okay? And then yun nga, no? I am very happy that even though I was spiritual but not religious, even at the beginning, as a pioneer in Patas, you all accepted me for, what I believe in. It's okay, kasi hindi naman ako makulit. Okay? So, yan, I'm here also, and then I'll also be making videos for you also. That topic, and then mga relationships, yun. Okay, all the taboo topics about relationships, even though I've had only one wife, separated na, and after that, never had a girlfriend. So, yan. Ang rami naman humingi ng advice sa akin So, yan, I might as well, come out with those also, no? So, yun rin. So, if you like yan, yung channel ko naman, Ricky Maramba.
Ricky Maramba po.
Oo.
Tapos na ba yung lahat yan?
Oo, medyo kasi, ito yung outline ko Medyo inaantok ata ako nung ginawa ko Pero sabi ko, hindi na bale, test run naman para at least kumapal na rin ang mukha ko.
Oo.
So, mukhang kaya naman eh. Ngayon, intayin na lang natin, pag yan kumalat, ewan ko kung mumura-murahin na tayo.
Hindi naman siguro. Kasi maganda yung topic natin.
Nasa atheist group yan eh. Kung ma-share yan.
Okay.
Kasi naka-public eh, di ba? Naka-public yan eh.
Pero,
Sa page public eh, di ba?
Pero yung topic naman natin is always on the problem of evil naman. Wala naman tayong tinatch na
Gnosticism.
Gnosticism lang naman. Lang yun.
Yun ang pinaka-brutal eh.
Yun ba? Kala ko satanism.
Hindi pa brutal ang Satanism because Satanism, they're gonna say God is not good, but they do not say He is bad. Pero yung Gnosticism, talagang sinabi, Old Testament God is Satan. Yun ang malupit.
But Satan is good eh. Ang labo.
Oo, kaya...
Well, actually, he is. He is the father of innovation. Without him, there's no hell.
Well,
innovated
actually,
hell.
you just look at Google, ano yan? Satan's 9 precepts ba yun? Yung parang 10 commandments nila. Pag binasa mo, hindi naman ganun kasama eh. Hindi naman ganun kasama eh. Nakita ko lang doon na questionable. When someone trespasses on your territory, you tell him to stop, destroy him. Parang yun lang ang questionable.
Yung ibig mo masabihin yung satanic, yung Laveyan, satanism?
Laveyan ba yun?
Kasi meron...
Oo,
yung
dalawa.
Laveyan,
May theistic at may Laveyan eh. Oo.
yung Laveyan kasi, non-theistic naman yun.
Non-theistic,
pero hindi na sila active. Ang active na ngayon yung TST, the Satanic Temple.
Hindi
Kay
ko
Lucian
alam.
Greaves.
Hindi ko alam. I'm not familiar.
Ano na lang, mas okay siya.
Yan. Kaya kayo, kung gusto rin niyo tumingin ng Satanism, meron rin, kung ano-ano na pinlag. Meron pang isa, Luciferianism, which is not exactly Satanism.
Lucifer is only existent in King James.
Hindi ko alam. Pero ganito kasi yan ha. Nagkwento na. Ang Lucifer kasi sa Bible, related yan kay Satan.
Morning star.
Yeah, morning star. However, when you're going to listen to the others, Lucifer raw is the light bringer.
And Jesus.
Di mo na mamaya. Nabasa mo yun?
Hindi, nabasa ko sa Bible. Paulit-ulit lang yun
Lucifer is Jesus talaga?
Hindi, light bearer. Parehas lang definition.
Oo. Nandun yan sa morgue official. And Lucifer raw was going to bring us knowledge and is going to enlighten us what the real thing was about, because the Old Testament God is keeping us ignorant in the matrix. In fact, dun sa morgue official, there is an example there about that everyone is in the matrix. And he actually says that everyone's in the matrix, and the moment you get out of the matrix, which was made by the Creator God, you will know what reality really is. May ganun. And before pa nga, I remember reading na the Wachowski sisters, two brothers sila, ngayon sisters sila, they're actually into Gnosticism. Yun yung scandal doon. So imagine, pinalabas nila yung Gnosticism, they passed it off as fiction, sabay, naging milyonaryo sila, bilyonaryo. Yun. Anyway, yung si Lucifer, he's the light bringer. And that's why some say that Jesus Christ is also Lucifer. Lucifer is not there to be bad, but they are supposed to enlighten you. And some will even say that Lucifer is also Prometheus. Kasi di ba Prometheus gave the di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, according to that morgue official, Lucifer is also the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah.
Grabe!
I've read that.
Oo, scandalous. Talagang nakakatuwa talagang itong sa morgue official.
And it was a gift kasi from France to US.
Yeah, from France. And the guy who made that was into this.
Gnosticism. Pero I'm wondering kasi, when it comes to belief system, meron pa rin kasing may mga maliliit na particles. So, next week, pag-usapan natin deeper.
Lahat ng controversial pag-uusapan.
So next week po, Sunday, December 18.
Gusto mo ito or kahit ano na lang rin pag-usapan natin? Para
We'll start with problem of evil ulit.
So, sige.
Dry run lang to ulitin namin sa Sunday. pero into a nicer venue, tsaka mas formal,
Oo.
and hindi sabog-sabog na ano.
Oo.
Sabog ko yun kasi nanggugulo lang ako kay Master Ricky.
Oo.
Ang gulo ko, di ba?
Ngayon, if you guys like any topics, yan, type na rin ninyo, or if you like yung labo-labo ngayon,
Pero for the first 1 hour natin, eto muna.
problem of evil. Oh,
And then after that,
sige.
maglalabo-labo na tayo.
Yan, I have 1 week to finish that. Tapos yan, if you, ngayon, kung gusto nyo every week, ano kaya? Sige nga, para makapag-practice ako.
Kasi ang nangyayari, kung mapapansin mo, nag-start tayo sa problem statement mo. And then once you laid out your problem statement, napunta tayo ng semantics. Yung per word tayo, ina-analyze natin per word according to culture, according to dictionary, ganyan. So, iba-iba siya. So, yeah, yun nga. So, first hour natin is problem of evil. Then after that, semantics tayo hanggang saan na mapunta.
Sige. Okay lang. So yan, you just...
Guys, may masasuggest ba kayong pangalan ng weekly show natin?
Oh my God, weekly show na! At mga topics ha, anong mga topics, weekly show, anong time, anong day. So preferably weekend, di ba?
Akala ko nga mukbang kanina.
Mukbang!
Actually,
Nag-ano pa nga kami. O, ba? May alak pa. Skandaloso talaga.
Ricky. Mukbang with Master Ricky.
Ayan
Patas mukbang, ayan. Sige, ako di kakain. Kain ako dito. Ang dami ng foods mo, Master Ricky. Mukhang tataba ako dito.
Diyos ko, bakit ikaw kaya mo talaga every week, ha?
Kaya naman. As
Okay,
long as wala ang lakad with family. Kasi usually, pag may occasion, like next week, may occasion yung family. Siyempre, tradition nila yun. Kasama ako.
Sige. Pero ipagkalat na rin ninyo, ha? Para at least marami-rami. Kasi dito, ilan lang ba? 2?
Hindi sa ano lang yan, sa page lang yan.
Okay, kasi sa iba marami siguro.
Kasi
no?
nung pinost ko yan blast sa mga groups. So, yung mga groups.
nga pala, no, may mga ibang Diyos ko.
So, hindi natin nakikita yung ibang nandito.
Oh my God, ano kaya, no?
So, every Friday or Saturday po sana kasi may work ng school Monday to Friday. Oo nga, no? So, next week kasi Saturday, merong event. Pwede tayo maaga, 7 p.m.
Oo.
Bago pumunta ng Ateos.
Oo. Para at least after that, pwede mag-party. Tapos hopefully, hindi tayo binabato-bato sa mga pupunta natin. Ikaw yung skandalo ko, yung satanista. Ay, nako, hindi na ako pwede magloko pag ito kumalat.
Hindi na.
Mamaya, binabato-bato na tayo.
Maayos naman yung natin, Masarili. Hindi naman siya.
Maayos sa mga atheists, yung mga iba. Diyos ko.
Pero wala tayong binanggit ng mga personalities. Yun lang naman yung
yung religion lang.
Religion, okay lang. Pero
wala
yung
namang
mga
personality. Kaya walang personalan, ha?
Walang personalan. Hindi tayo magbabanggit ng names. Except yung mga names sa Bible. Of course. Pero other than that, hindi tayo magbabanggit ng any politics, something to do with political names.
Political.
Oo.
Kasi yun nga sabi sa akin, Ricky, sa religion pwede kang magsalita, pero wag ka nang humirit sa politics, wag ka pang humirit sa corporate world. Sinabihan ako dati pa.
Oo naman. Siyempre,
Wag ka mambabangga ng,
siyempre,
That's why, mga vaccine, hindi pwede.
professional dapat.
No, but I mean like mga vaccine,
Oo.
mga ganun. Ay, nako. Wag na. Pero,
straight science lang tayo. Kung science, pwede naman tayo science.
no, pero alam mo, kasi minsan pag mag-straight science ka, mababangga mo sila sa totoo lang. Kasi ito rin pala yung tip ko sa inyo, ha? Di ba they say na, when there is a study, it is peer-reviewed. Di ba? Okay. However, no, and I asked several scientists this, no, they said, even if it's peer-reviewed, it doesn't mean that it has been peer-reviewed. I know, I have met a number of scientists that said, Ricky, I don't think my is correct. And sometimes when it is peer-reviewed, that's when you find out it is flawed. And then the other thing is, this is what my friend said, ha? Yeah, I think she was from Patas before, and she was able to get what do you call it, a grant? Basta she was able to study abroad. They funded her because she was a cum laude in physics.
Mhm.
No? So, she studied abroad, now she's teaching. And when she passed by the Philippines, I said, Hoy, I want to see you because she's one of the only intelligent people I know. Yung talagang ganun kataas, no? And this is what she said. She said, Ricky, you know, wait, she studied in Canada and ang alam ko, she was teaching in Singapore. She said, Ricky, you know, you have to understand, the scientists make only a little over a McDonald's employee. And that is why sometimes it's not professional. Because if they do not cater, okay, to their boss's demand na I want it done this way, they're not gonna get funding anymore or they will lose their job.
Parang mga Marvel lang na pinapanood ko.
Kaya
Sa Marvel, yan.
kaya you
Kaya
can
matatapos to.
kaya you can imagine, no, just because it is what you look for raw is how many really reviewed it, I don't know if it's there, or who are the funders. Minsan makikita mo raw yan sa mga studies eh. Okay? And if the funders have a bias for that, you think twice. Okay?
Exactly.
Ayun, see. That's why yun. Marami talaga dyan, okay? Okay,
So we will not drop names. We will avoid any very controversial topics. We will just stay with Bible study.
but what we can do is we can teach you how to be more discerning. Like, for example, ito, pakagat na ito, no? When it comes to mass media and not mass media, they make errors in different ways. The bloggers, no, sometimes, syempre, they make errors. Okay? Minsan, sadya yan, minsan hindi. Okay? But the mass media, it's possible they don't make errors, but they will only show one side of the story. They're supposed to show two sides of the stories, di ba? But they will only show one side of the story. So we assume na gano'n na nga yung storya. Sometimes, they make it an opinion column and make their opinion so harsh that we imagine na that is everybody's opinion. So strictly speaking, they're not lying. Kuha mo? So ang nangyayari is that all these small bloggers na nagkakamali, they are going to be blamed with lying. But this mass media, who is not giving the whole story, can never really be sued for lying. Yan, ganyan ang ano niyan eh. It's like a parent and a child. A child will lie because minsan nagkakamali siya, but a parent will make it such that she won't lie, but she only shows one side of the story. Or she's gonna make it an opinion, but make it sound like it's a fact. Kaya yan, basta mag-ingat kayo with whatever you read. Yung mga ganyan, sige, we can give you mga tips on that. No? And the moment medyo malaman mo how to do that, ay nako, talagang you'll say, wow, marami palang kalokohan dito sa internet. But yan, if I were you, you read everything. Lahat ng band yan, basahin mo. And then you filter it na lang. Kasi like when it comes to like in martial arts, they're gonna say, we are the best martial art because we have been there in 1,000 years. Di ba ganyan naman sila eh. Tapos dumating ang MMA, nagkulpis sila. So ano nangyari dyan sa 1,000 years mo? Wala. Di ba? Si Bruce Lee, dumating, in 10 years, ginulpi niya rin lahat sila. So just because tumagal yan ng ketagal-tagal at maraming adherents, it doesn't mean na tama siya.
Fallacy of the ancients ang tawag.
Yun ba yun? And fallacy of
Ancients.
authority.
Authority is, yun nga. Sundin mo ko kasi, I am the authority.
Yun, oo, yun. Ancients at authority pala. So yun, basta talaga lahat basahin ninyo. Tapos So ano?
Ayan, so wrap up na po kami. See you next week. Sige, Saturday na lang kami. Agahan namin mga 7. Kasi 7 to
Oh my God.
Friday, Saturday na lang. Kasi Friday may pasok pa rin ako niyan. Friday hanggang Friday ng night. So Saturday night.
Wait, tons of threads. Hindi lang pala isa. Diyos ko.
At I think kasi masyadong masyadong yung passion kasi ni
Pero
ni,
pero wala pang Gnosticism ang topic niya, ha?
logic lang.
Oo. Kaya ewan ko. Bahala na kung ma-detret tayo, no?
Gnosticism, I don't think, di naman siya ka-detret.
Ay, Diyos ko. No, kasi the others, no? Makakahanap ka pa ng butas why it may be wrong, eh. Pero, when I read Gnosticism, the whole thing makes sense, eh. Diba?
Bye-bye! Thank you, bye-bye! Cut na namin. Finish na namin.
Sige, finish.